I've never been good at that. Today we're going to talk about tone wood and drums. Does it matter what wood your drums are made out of? You know, things like this are getting debated now, like electric guitar, does wood really matter? And you hear all these different tests, and people are making guitars out of concrete and plexiglass and all this. And you know what I think it is? Marketing. It's marketing. You got to have the magic mojo, baby. Because like on an acoustic guitar, if you have two acoustic guitars and one has a Sitka spruce top and the other one has a cedar top, I mean, there's a huge difference. It's night and day. Anybody would tell the difference. They'd at least say that one sounds darker or that one has more treble. You know, but on a drum, can you really tell? Is it worth spending money on a really expensive drum set with some exotic wood? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We have to mention DW Drums. Probably the big drum company, you know, in the world right now. Any like really real professional drummer uses DW Drums, you know. Not like in the 80s when they all used Pearl, but they have changed. And have you seen the one video with John Goodman, and he's got a shell and he's holding it like this and he's tapping it, and then he runs the plies different ways, and he'll like put a C, like a little sticker, because he thinks it makes a sound of a C or a D flat or whatever. Is that really going to matter? Well, here, I have a little piece of cedar. I'm going to whack it. Let's see if we can get it to ring a little bit. Like his drum shells ring a little bit. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's ringing a little bit. I'm barely holding it. Now, what happens when you put lugs on? This is what happens. Right? Ring. That kind of blows that right out of the water, doesn't it? There's not going to be a note when the thing's all, it's like throwing a wet blanket over it. It's not going to ring at all. Think about this. When is the last time you ever heard someone say this? You walk into a bar, there's a band playing, wow, that's a maple drum set, I can hear it. Have you ever seen anybody do that? Or if you're listening to an album and you know the drummer does a little solo in the song or something, do you think to yourself, oh my God, that's Babinga? Oh no, maybe it's Babinga and maple. Nobody ever said that because you can't freaking tell the difference. It's marketing. It's so obvious. Here, let's do this. Let's listen to 4 drum sets. This is all the same size drums, all the same hardware, the same player, the studio. Everything's the same except for the wood type. We got a cherry set, an oak set, a maple set, and a birch set. Listen to all 4 and you tell me which one is which. Could you tell the difference? I can't. I would never be able to tell the difference. And I've been playing musical instruments for as long as dirt has been around. It doesn't, there may be a slightly different property to different woods, but it doesn't translate with drums. It doesn't. I mean, what makes a drum sound a certain way is the diameter, the depth, the bearing edge. I mean, if it's really thick, that might surely make it sound different. Or if it's really thin, the bearing edge, the hardware, the hoops. A lot of people talk about the hoops. And I think the heads are like 80%. Now you start swapping heads, you can hear right away the difference. It's night and day. But the wood, I just don't see it. I don't see that. I don't hear it. Don't waste money on expensive drum kits because of the wood. Don't do it. I mean, if you have a lot of money and you want to buy a nice drum set, I am not against that. I love wood. And even if the wood doesn't make that much of a difference, I'd like to have a drum set with some really awesome wood with a beautiful finish. So I'm not against the nice wood. Like Ford drums, they claim it makes no difference. And if you watch one of their videos, they hit like a dozen or 14 12-inch toms of all different materials at a NAMM show. And they all sound pretty much the same. And all these people are commenting, oh, they sound different. They all sound like 13-inch toms or whatever they are, 12-inch toms. So it's just like, I just think that marketing, they got to make a reason for you to want to buy stuff. And exotic woods are it. And they make all these different claims about how they sound. It's warm with a sizzly top end, or it's got a fat low end and the mids are complex. And they say all this. It's just like, come on. You ever seen anybody put the microphone on the side of a drum? It's always on the head, real close to the head, because that's where all the sound comes from. I mean, duh. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this or gave you something to think about. Go on YouTube and look around for some A/B tests and listen to them. And, well, besides the ones I have on here, listen to them and maybe you can draw your own conclusions, you know. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day and see you next time.